Hello everyone and welcome. In today's lesson we will see how to talk about family and relationship. We will see many different vocabulary related to this topic and we will see how to link between information. Okay, we will see many formal linking discourse markers and also informal linking discourse markers. Let's start. Now let's start with some vocabulary relating to family and relationships. I look up to my older brother. I look up to my older brother means look up to somebody. To look up to somebody is to have respect and admiration for them, for that person. Respect and admiration. They brought up their children to be polite and respectful. They brought up their children to be polite and respectful. To bring up someone or somebody or bring somebody up is to care for a child and teach them how to behave. She got along with her colleagues. She got along with her colleagues. To get along with somebody or get on with somebody means to have a positive relationship with somebody. We fell in love while we were traveling across Europe together. We fell in love while we were traveling across Europe together. Fall in love with somebody means to begin to love somebody. They drifted apart after they stopped working for the same company. They drifted apart after they stopped working for the same company. To drift apart means to slowly become less friendly or close to somebody. They're lucky that you take after your intelligent mother. You're lucky that you take after your intelligent mother. Take after somebody is to have characteristics of a parent or a relative. To have their characteristics, to be like the same, to be very similar to them. It is important to grow up in a caring environment. It is important to grow up in a caring environment. To grow up means to develop from a child to an adult. My siblings fell out with each other for a few years. My siblings fell out with each other for a few years. Fall out with somebody means to stop being friends with somebody, often after an argument. I broke up with him after a big argument. I broke up with him after a big argument. To break up with somebody means to end a romantic relationship. I made friends with her a long time ago. I made friends with her a long time ago. To make friends with somebody means to become friendly with a person. We've been close friends for more than 20 years. We've been close friends for more than 20 years. Close friend is a friend who you know very well. My sister gave birth to a baby girl a few months ago. My sister gave birth to a baby girl a few months ago. To give birth to somebody means to have a child. We used to fight a lot, but we see eye to eye nowadays. We used to fight a lot, but we see eye to eye nowadays. See eye to eye with somebody means to agree with or have similar opinions to somebody. We bumped into her teacher in the supermarket. We bumped into her teacher in the supermarket. To bump into somebody is to meet someone unexpectedly. Our parents taught us to stick up for each other at school. Our parents taught us to stick up for each other at school. Stick up for somebody is to speak out in support of somebody. To speak out in support of somebody. I'm really surprised by how much we have in common. I'm really surprised by how much we have in common. To have something in common with somebody or to have something in common is to share an interest or opinion with that person. Curly hair runs in the family. Curly hair runs in the family. Runs in the family means to be a common feature of a family. As soon as I met Tom, we just clicked. As soon as I met Tom, we just clicked. Click with somebody is to like somebody quickly and easily. My dad is putting his foot down about doing chores. My dad is putting his foot down about doing chores. To put your foot down is to be strict about something. I think the world of my first grandchild. I think the world of my first grandchild. To think the world of somebody is to have a very high opinion of somebody. Let's see now how to link between ideas or information. To do that, we need some linking discourse markers. We will start with the informal linking discourse markers. Some discourse markers are mostly used in informal writing and speech. Let's see the first example. I like listening to music, but though my mother hates it. But or though show contrast. We can use but or we can use though. He's a talented swimmer, like his great-grandfather was, or just as his great-grandfather was. Like or just as, sometimes even we use as, okay, only, they show comparison. Comparison between two things, two people. Staying in touch is easy because, since, as, we all have smartphones. Because, since, and as, they show the cause of the action. We grew up together, so we tell each other everything. We are very close. As a result, we know everything about each other. So we have so or as a result to show the effect or the results. All my siblings are tall, especially my older sister or particularly my older sister. This shows emphasis, تأكيد, or to show something in particular. تأكد على حاجة بالذات. To emphasize the relationship between words when speaking, you can add stress to the discourse marker. Okay? For example, let's use the first sentence here. I like listening to music, but my mother hates it. I like listening to music, though my mother hates it. So every time we talk, okay, and we say this sentence, we show the marker by stressing on it. Let's do this exercise together. Rewrite these pairs of sentences using the discourse markers to connect them. Julie likes her older brother. She doesn't see him very often. We have but here. Julie likes her older brother, but she doesn't see him very often. All my siblings love playing football. My brother loves it the most. We will use especially here. All my siblings love playing football, especially my brother. Number 2. We are all quite interested in our family history. We've made a family tree. We will use so here. We are all quite interested in our family history, so we've made a family tree. Number 3. I love talking to my aunt. She has lots of interesting stories from her travels abroad. We will use because. I love talking to my aunt because she has lots of interesting stories from her travels abroad. Number 4. My grandmother thinks I should get married. I'm not as traditional as she is. My grandmother thinks I should get married, but I'm not as traditional as she is. Number 5. We don't have big family gatherings very often. My grandparents live abroad. We will use since here. We don't have big family gatherings very often since my grandparents live abroad. So we use since here to show the cause. Let's see now formal linking discourse markers. Okay, some discourse markers are used most often in formal writing and speaking situations. In formal situations, maybe at work, maybe in a job interview. The castle was built in 1272. Whereas, or yet, the tower is modern. Whereas, or yet, they show contrast here like but and though, but these two are more formal. His talk was popular and his book was similarly well liked or equally well liked. Similarly and equally to show comparison. International video calls are popular due to global internet access or owing to global internet access. Due to or owing to show cause. Many foreigners settled there. Hence, the population is bilingual. Therefore, the population is bilingual. Hence and therefore show effect. He is known for his research, primarily into royal families, notably into royal families. Primarily and notably show emphasis. Let's fill in the gaps now using formal discourse markers. James won many medals, notably one for bravery. James won many medals, notably one for bravery. Elizabeth had 2 children, Mary had 1. Elizabeth had 2 children, whereas or yet Mary had none. Number 2. The 2 elderly sisters were wealthy. The 2 elderly sisters were equally or similarly wealthy. Number 3. The father left the army, a serious arm injury. The father left the army due to or owing to a serious arm injury. Number 4. James and Tom were identical twins. They looked alike. James and Tom were identical twins. Therefore, or hence, they looked alike. Very good. Let's say now each sentence out loud using the most appropriate discourse marker. I like sandwiches, but the rest of my family are big pizza fans. I like sandwiches, but the rest of my family are big pizza fans. Number 1. You have failed to respond to our messages. So, or hence, your subscription has been cancelled. You have failed to respond to our messages, hence, your subscription has been cancelled. Number 2. My friends say I take after my dad owing to or because we both like mountain biking. My friends say I take after my dad because we both like mountain biking. As you can see the difference between the first sentence and the second sentence. The first sentence is formal. We used here hence because it is a formal situation. But the second one is informal. He's talking maybe to his friend, okay? So it's very informal and we can use because here, no problem. Number 3. After a successful book tour, the professor's lectures were equally or like well received. After a successful book tour, the professor's lectures were equally well received. This is a formal situation, so we used equally. Number 4. I love my aunts, notably or especially Mira, because she's so funny. This is informal situation, so the answer is I love my aunts, especially Mira, because she's so funny. That's it for today. Thank you so much for your attention and see you soon. Goodbye.